Long before the United States, this land was home to many nations. Families gathered around evening fires, telling stories of the earth, the sky, and the spirits that watched over them. They traded, farmed, hunted, and kept traditions alive across deserts, forests, and plains. This is where America begins, with the first American peoples. In the 1600s, new sails appeared on the horizon. European ships reached the Atlantic shore, carrying hope, fear, and ambition. Some sought freedom, others fortune. Every landing sparked encounters, curiosity, and conflict. Two worlds met, and nothing would be the same again. At Jamestown, survival was a daily test. Swamps, sickness, and hunger threatened the small settlement, but stubborn effort, hard lessons, and uneasy alliances kept it alive. From fragile beginnings, a colony took root. Farther north, Puritan towns grew around meeting houses and fields. Faith shaped laws, work shaped life. Winters were harsh, but communities were close. A culture of learning, debate, and self-rule began to form. By the 1700s, markets buzzed with trade. Timber, tobacco, furs, and flour crossed docks and roads. Newspapers spread ideas from town to town. A shared identity was slowly, quietly taking shape. Taxes without a voice lit a fuse. In Boston Harbor, crates splashed into dark water. It was a bold message to an empire. We will be heard, or we will resist. In 1776, delegates gathered in Philadelphia. They signed a daring document, declaring that all are created equal, and governments answer to the people. It was more than words. It was a promise and a risk. A nation was announced to the world. War followed. Fields turned to smoke and thunder as patriots faced a mighty army. Victories were scarce, winters were brutal, supplies ran thin. But the cause endured. A freedom was worth the cost. At the center stood George Washington. Steady, cautious, relentless. He chose when to fight and when to fade into the mist. With patience and grit, he kept the revolution alive. After victory came a harder task, building a government. In a hot Philadelphia summer, delegates argued, compromised, and crafted a constitution. Checks and balances, separation of powers, a republic if we can keep it. The blueprint of American liberty took form. The young nation pushed west. Wagons creaked over rivers and mountains. Dreams of land and opportunity pulled families onward. The frontier promised a future and demanded a price. On that frontier, native nations and settlers met. There were moments of trade and long years of struggle. Treaties were made and too often broken. The story is complicated, and it belongs to us all. Iron rails stitched the map together. Trains shrank distance and sped up life. Coal and steam drove mills and cities as invention rewired work. America was moving faster than ever. By the 1860s, the nation faced itself. Abraham Lincoln spoke of union and a new birth of freedom. His words were clear, and his burden was heavy. The country stood at a crossroads. Civil communities and families apart. Blue and gray clashed across farms and hills. The cost was beyond counting. But the question was simple. Would the nation live up to its promise? Lincoln's proclamation transformed the war's meaning. Freedom became the goal, not just union. The path was painful, unfinished, and necessary. A door opened that could not be closed. After war, cities swelled with energy. Streetcars rattled, factories roared, and lights brightened the night. Work was hard, dreams were harder. A modern nation came into view. At Ellis Island, new Americans arrived by the millions. They brought languages, skills, and songs, and built new lives from almost nothing. Each name recorded added a thread to the American fabric. In the 1940s, the world burned. Americans fought across oceans and islands. Courage and sacrifice echoed from shore to shore. The flag rose, and hope rose with it. A century after emancipation, the promise still waited. Marchers filled streets with prayers and demands. Dr. King's dream called the nation to its ideals. Equal rights, not someday, but now. Today, towers shine over rivers and bridges. Innovation, culture, and conversation move at the speed of light. Old arguments remain, and new ones rise. That's the work of a living democracy. This is the American story, unfinished by design. From first fires to crowded cities, from hardship to hope, we inherit its questions and its courage. The Star-Spangled Banner is a promise we keep together. If this journey through America's past inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and join us as we uncover more untold stories of history.